So before we start, let's ask for divine blessing, shall we? To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, to all the saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Master Twakok Sui, Mahaguji Mailing, we humbly invoke for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, help, healing, and divine protection. We thank you. Thank you for blessing us with a loving heart, an intelligent mind, and a powerful will that we may be of service to others. We thank you in full faith, and so it is. All right, welcome everyone. And for some of you who are new, the reason we do our full moon meditations, because during the full moon, there's so much energy pouring to the earth. It's like fertilizer. Everything gets magnified. And so that's why a lot of people who are, you could say, emotionally calm, well, during the full moon, what happens? They're very irritable, right? So what we're trying to do here is, as the great Tibetan teacher, Holy Master Dwalkul said, the full moon time is a time of opportunity or a time of crisis. So for most people, it's a time of crisis when things explode. For us, since we have this knowledge of this information, we use it as a time to take all that massive amount of spiritual energy, flush out the energy we don't want, the thoughts, emotions, the lingering anger, resentment, whatever crap we have in our system, flush it out, and also harness that energy to charge up what we want. Okay? Now, I remember many years ago, my teacher said, when you do full moon meditations, also share some spiritual insights, and that's what we're doing. So every month when we do this, we pick a topic, and this month happened to be downloads, because I hear it so many times. Oh, I got to download this, download that. So the other day when we were coming up with a topic, I talked to my assistant, I go, what the heck should we talk about? And I go, I don't know, maybe, and then ding, okay, download. And I didn't realize that for most people, it's something so ethereal, something so, what's the word I'm looking for? So far out. Oh, I'm getting a download. So let's break it down, because I remember my teacher used to tell me, says, look, you are a biocomputer. I go, oh, okay. Basically, you have hardware, just to break it down. You have hardware, you have software, right? Hardware is your body, your brain, your nervous system. That's your hardware. Software is your consciousness. So one without the other doesn't work, right? You can have the most upgraded software, but if your hardware can't handle it, doesn't work. You can have the best hardware, but there's not much spiritual advancement. Don't go anywhere. So the two have to match. Okay? Now, let's talk about spiritual download. You know, you hear it so much. Oh, I have this spiritual download. What exactly does that mean? If you raise your antenna, you get all sorts of signal, right? I remember many years ago, my teacher said, look, here's the problem. In the energy world, in the inner world, there is no FCC. You know, in the United States, you have Federal something communications, whatever. So in other words, to a certain extent, you cannot be yelling, screaming profanities and making things up. You know, there's a certain limit of what you can do. In the energy world, there's no such thing. Anything goes. I could say, by the way, I did this meditation. If I chant 3 times, stand on my head, and then do 3 backflips, suddenly I'm an enlightened guru. I can do that. And it's up to the people listening to say, that's a bunch of BS, belief system. Okay? Or they could say, oh, yeah. You get the idea? So downloads is not basically, it's not just information coming in. You have to figure out where that information is coming from. Okay? So let's break it down. I'm going to try to do it in less than 25 minutes, because after that we'll do intense meditation. I'll try. So the question is, where does the data come from? Ideally, in a perfect world, it comes down from your higher soul, your higher self. And your higher soul is basically pure energy. And this energy, just imagine it's energy, but it has consciousness and intelligence. A lot of times people think, oh, the soul is like, looks like this. It's just made of energy. Nope. It's just pure light. That's why some of you, like we're going to do today, when we do intense meditation, you don't feel your butt in the chair. You feel like you're floating, but you feel happy, you're still, and it's almost like you could see all the way around you. Because the soul, the spiritual self, is just pure energy, like radiating light in every direction. Now, so that's your higher soul. There's a higher soul and the lower soul. I know a lot of you go, what the heck is he talking about? This higher soul is just like the mainframe computer. All right? That mainframe computer is being fed data. Where does that data come from? It comes from 2 places. Number one, it comes from your teachers, your guides, angels, high beings, from God. So if this is your higher soul, massive amount of energy comes in. Then from there, you have, you know what, I got a better idea. This is an image. Maybe some of you, it'll be easier to understand. Okay, the ones on Instagram, I apologize, I can't show it to you. It's on the screen. So essentially, your higher soul is brilliant energy, and then there's a spiritual connection. That's your bandwidth, your spiritual core. That's why you notice you go to a lot of churches, temples, wherever they have images of saints and great teachers, there's always a shaft of light coming down their head. That is called the spiritual cord. In Sanskrit, it's called antakarana, like a spiritual antenna. In Jewish tradition, when it's big enough, they call it the middle pillar or the pillar of light. In Chinese, they call it heaven chi. In the Christian tradition, it's described as the descent of the Holy Spirit. When that Holy Spirit, the energy is coming down, it looks like a brilliant pipeline coming down. That's your bandwidth. How big that pipeline is determines how much of that data comes in. Okay? Now, from there, the receptacle is your crown. That's the interface. Like when data's coming in, your computer has to be able to receive it, right? Either wired or wirelessly. The ability to receive it, you have an interface that takes that subtle information and let your computer absorb that data and process it. That's your crown chakra and all your other chakras. That's the interface. All right? Now, listen very carefully. That data coming in is basically just a bunch of data. It still has to be processed. So when it comes down, your crown, when that information comes in, that's what people call intuition. Because intuition is, I remember my teacher used to say it's called bodhicitta, okay, in Sanskrit. In other words, in plain English, direct knowing. Direct knowing means knowing something without having to gather data, study it, and come up with a conclusion. For example, logic is A is equal to B, B is equal to C, therefore A is equal to C. Intuition says A is equal to C. How do you know? Because it is. It's obvious. Or the way Master Cho explained it, he goes, ordinary people, when their intuition is not that heightened, it's just like you're going like this. You're feeling an animal. You go, okay, I feel 3 ginormous legs. I feel a tail. I feel a big, 2 big ears and 1 long, big something. It's an elephant. Well, a person with intuition goes, hello, it's an elephant. It's called direct knowing. However, here's the problem. When that data comes in, it's formless. When it's formless, that means you know something. When people ask you, how do you know? How do you use it? Right? So what happens is your chakras are basically energy transformers. They step down the data. They take it from the intangible to the tangible. So your forehead chakra, right here. By the way, some of you who are still stuck with the 7 chakras, study more. That's all I can say. You learn that you have at least 11 major centers, okay? Now, you have a forehead chakra here, which is not part of the 7. This energy center here is called the forehead chakra. We don't use complicated Sanskrit term. But the forehead chakra is also your real third eye. So this one, when the data comes in, it's formless. And some of you, yeah. And then you go like this, you go. And somehow in your mind, you see an image. That's because this camera went ding. Get the idea? So this is the forehead chakra. So it takes that formless energy, like data, coming in through a computer wire or wirelessly, and this guy gives it some form. So if your inner sight, or what you call clairvoyance, is more open, you get an image. As people are telling you something, information is coming in, you almost have an image in your head. Okay? Now, listen carefully. The next 2 chakras are critical. The one here is called the Ajna chakra. Ajna in Sanskrit means to direct. This is the synthesizer guy. Okay? This one sees the big picture. It's called higher mental faculty. This one here, the throat, is the lower mental faculty of the concrete mind. This one sees the big picture. This one breaks it down into details. So when that information comes in, these 2 guys get to work, process the information, and go, oh, okay, when you saw that brilliant light coming down, and you saw that person is suddenly very happy, this one will say, based on what I see, essentially what's happening is the divine energy coming down, it's flushing out all the negative energy and negative thoughts. This guy would say, yeah, and as it comes down, All the negative thoughts from the previous lifetimes are stuck in the chakras. The divine energy flushed it out. In other words, what was formless and just data, just gibberish, these two guys break it down, give it form. Translation. It is very important for us to sharpen our mental faculty. It doesn't mean you're spiritually connected that you don't have to study anymore. That's why we study a lot. And you notice when you come to our classes or intros, videos, whatever, we always tell you the why and the how. You notice that? You'll never hear us say, just trust me. Because the way I was taught by my teacher is this: God gave you a brain. So the information that comes in has to be processed. It is only by processing by these two chakras that your heart, soul plexus, and all your other chakras can put it into action in your everyday life. Now, let me add one more thing to it. In this book, and also the class we're going to be teaching in 2 weeks, the Spiritual Essence of Man class on the Tree of Life, you'll notice there are different bars, right? Now, this first bar, I don't know if you can see it from up here on top. This guy and this guy. All right? So, those two, they're complementary opposites. The opposites, but they're complementary. One of them is the forehead chakra. That's intuition. One of them is this one, intellect. They're called complementary opposites. Now, the question, what are they opposites? Essentially, the way he explained to me, he said, intuition has to be balanced by intellect. Intellect has to be balanced by intuition. There are people who are very intuitive. You ask them what they saw. They can tell you what they saw. You ask them what they mean. They haven't got a clue. And you have other people who are super, super smart. Smart as in they can process information. They know stuff. But there's no information coming in. Because their mind is so overpowering. The data coming in is not as much because their crown and spiritual cord is small. So, yeah, they can give you logic, but they don't have insights. The key is to balance intellect with intuition. Okay? Let's keep going. Now, when you get on the spiritual path, oftentimes you're going to get data and information. First of all, when that information comes in, it is not easily processed and understood. The question is why? Because there's such a thing as junk files. Right? You notice sometimes you download something and then you go, where the heck is that file? You went to my download file and you get all these gajillion files. You go, oh, there it is. You say, why can it be so simple when I download it? It's right there. Haven't you noticed sometimes in meditation something comes in and when you're ready to go, yesterday I had this meditation and I had this insight what to do with this business. And you go, I can't remember what it was. Remember that? You know why? Because we got junk files. Junk files basically is a cloud of thoughts and emotions in our aura. So even though the data is coming in, by the time it hits our consciousness, it's making so much crap from stress, from being busy and everything else. You go, where's that file? Get the idea? So you have junk files. Don't worry, we'll give you a solution. You're going to tell me all this stuff, you're not giving me a solution. We'll get there. But if you don't identify it, you cannot manage it, you cannot fix it. Okay? Next. You have malware. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Like things that hurt you, right? Like you could delete this, could cause this to go wrong. What is malware? Malware are basically energies in your aura and your chakras that, let's just say, either hinder you from developing or actually cause you to do stupid, dumb things. These are thought forms and emotions that are inside the chakras that either one, we created in a previous lifetime that we were not able to learn from and release, or in a present lifetime because we were in a bad circumstance and we were tempted to do something dumb and we did it, and somehow we did not have the awareness to realize it was a mistake and flush it out. So what happens is, let's say you're trying to do intense meditation. You're trying to meditate. And as you're meditating, the more you meditate, after meditation, your body feels sick. You feel like you want to throw up. Have you had that experience? Or the more you meditate, the more impatient you become. You go, hey, how does he know me? All of us go through it. This is the malware that's stuck inside the chakras. So when you do meditation, as the chakras get bigger, as more energy flows through, these guys come out and say, hey, it's me. Let me mess with you. Get the idea? That's why some of you notice it doesn't make sense. I should be more loving, which I am when I meditate, but somehow when somebody pisses me off, I would just want to destroy them. You go, where did that come from? Have you noticed that? Or sometimes you do intense meditation and just the weirdest or sometimes the worst thoughts come to your mind, things that are murderous, some things that are really bad. You go, where the heck did it come from? Listen carefully. Here's the problem. If you don't understand what we're saying, there's a tendency, and this is a number one thing that people on the spiritual path go through. I'm being psychically attacked. Nope. It's our own crap. It's inside. The key is to understand it, know it, so we can release it. The minute you say it's somebody else, we don't take responsibility, guess what? It sits in the aura to come back with a vengeance. So the question you should be asking is, now what? Okay. Again, I only have a few minutes. I think we should have a whole class on this for a couple of hours to break it down. Anyway. So, first things first. How do you widen that pipeline so that the information coming in is faster and faster and more in the amount, right? More data. And number two, second thing is, how do you upgrade your hardware to make sure that it can handle the data coming in? And number three, how do you get rid of the junk files and the malware so that when the information coming in, it's processed, you know what to do with it? Okay, let's just sit with that, because if I were to go to everything else, this will easily be an hour. And if you guys are interested, maybe we'll open up a... Okay, my assistants don't know about this, but maybe we can have a class for a couple of hours to actually deal with all this stuff. So you guys understand, especially the geeky guys, some of you go, yeah, now you're speaking my language. Okay, I'm an engineer by trade. That's why this makes sense. For some of you who are not into it, sorry. Okay, first of all, this bandwidth is the connection between your higher and lower self. In other words, every time we do something that is helpful to others, every time that we are doing something that is helpful to the world, that guy gets wider because the influence of the higher self, which is basically what? The higher self, the higher soul is basically a conglomeration of data and information consciousness of what we've learned in previous lifetimes, plus the information from our teachers, angels, and guides. Okay? So every time we're doing something that is good, that is wholesome, that is helpful, evolutionary in nature to us and the people around us in a good way, guess what? That thing widens because the spiritual energy pours down. The pressure flows down for it to widen. Next. How do you upgrade your hardware? There are several ways. The first one is the most obvious one that a lot of people on the spiritual path ignore. That's why some of you have been watching, looking at our Facebook and Instagram, he goes, hey, how come he has images of, exercising, encouraging us to exercise and whatever? Because your physical body is your hardware. If your body cannot handle the information and data, you're meditating, you keep doing this. Or every time you finish meditating, I don't feel like doing anything. You ever had that experience before? That means your body's overwhelmed. So the most obvious thing to do to upgrade your hardware is eat right, sleep well, exercise. You go, I can't believe you talk about this. This is... I don't really care what you think. It is what it is. You have to keep your body as strong, as healthy as possible. Look at me. Because it's like a vessel or a cup that catches that information that comes in. It catches that energy. If your vessel or your cup is not strong enough, it breaks down. Keep your body healthy and strong. Because that vehicle, that vessel, is the receptacle of all that spiritual energy. So one way to quote-unquote upgrade your hardware is to make it stronger, so when you're doing meditation, it doesn't get overwhelmed and checks out. Okay? Next. A lot of you have heard that when you had a dream, the next morning you want to write things down. Yeah? If you ask, in the class I asked, why do you have to write it down? People say, oh, of course, so I don't forget. So you're telling me it's a memory problem. It's not a memory problem. Because if it is a memory problem, you should not remember anything that happened before you went to bed. Make sense? It's not a memory problem. What it is, your hardware is having difficulty recognizing the frequency or the language, the computer language that's coming in, because at night, your energy body is receiving astral signals or signals from the emotional astral world. And our brains were not originally trained to register them, because our brain were originally trained to register sight, sound, smell, touch, taste. Everything else is above it. That's why if you know something that are beyond the 5 senses, people say, "Oh, you have the 6th sense," because they count past 5. Make sense? So there's a couple ways to upgrade your hardware without having to replace it. Because, if it's a computer, you take it out, you put a new hardware, and you don't want to do a brain transplant or nervous system transplant, right? So here's the secret. 2 of them. 1, every time you meditate or you have a signal coming in, you journal it. The act of journaling and writing might sound so elementary, but what's happening is this. You're engaging your mental faculty, your emotional faculty, and your physical body at the same time. That causes the integration. So when you start writing things down, you notice the more you write, oh yeah, and I noticed in that dream that happened too. Oh, that happened too. Oh, that happened too. That happened too. You notice that? Because you are training your brain. You're slowly upgrading your hardware. And the other way is to proper meditation. And it's not the scope of this event right now. There's this power source at the base of your spine called Kundalini. No, it's not Italian. It's not tortellini, Kundalini, spaghetti. Kundalini is Sanskrit. So without going into too much detail, it's oftentimes depicted as a snake or fire going up your spine. This energy is there whether you believe it or not. What it does is it helps upgrade your hardware. In other words, over many, many lifetimes, as you do meditation, spiritual practice, and service, this energy goes up your spine, and as it touches your chakras, it makes it more sensitive to even higher frequencies. It's basically a sensitizing agent. That's all. So you go, yeah, but I read that when you do that, you see light, you feel this, all of that, because that part of the chakra that was touched by it suddenly became super sensitive. So if you're interested in these things, we'll be teaching the class Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul again, which will touch on it, and also here, okay? Because I can't go to it. That's like a half hour, 45-minute talk. Anyway, let's keep going. So, you increase the bandwidth. You want to get rid of you upgrade your hardware. Now, how do you get rid of the malware and the junk files? 2 ways. Number 1, awareness. What do you mean the awareness? Have it ever happened to you that, we're doing something really dumb and stupid, and you're watching yourself do it? Part of you go, what are you doing? Have you had that experience? At least you had partial awareness already. So the key is, when you start noticing that, hey, every time this person talks to me, I want to slap him. Hey, that's not me. I'm a kind person. Okay, these thoughts are not mine. That awareness alone, you get to recognize the malware or the junk files, you can get rid of it. Next is meditation. When you do the proper meditation, as you're doing the meditation, as this waterfall of spiritual light comes down, it's like a fire hose flushing things out, if you have the right intention. So tonight, when we do our meditation, especially in the full moon, you're not under a faucet, you're under a waterfall. We just intend, I want to get rid of anger, stress, I want to get rid of, whatever negative emotions and thoughts you have, and you say, I never told anybody this, but when nobody's watching, sometimes I have this tendency to rob a bank or do something really so out of nature, out of character. Those are malware or old thought forms inside your aura and your chakras. The key is not to have I'm such a terrible sinner. No, you go, okay, look, this is just data that needs to be purged. If you look at it that way and you don't get emotionally attached to it, you can release it. The minute you sit there, I can't believe I'm such a bad person, that's it. Dead meat. Then you attach to it. The key is to use a higher principle to overcome the lower principle. The key is to understand it, use your mind, use the spiritual force, and not your emotions, so you can understand it, look at it, go, this crap is not mine. Get rid of it. Make sense? And one last thing. I know I'm going a million miles per hour because I really want to put the meditation in, okay? And a lot of you want your projects blessed by the group after meditation, so I want to get through this quickly. Now, listen and listen carefully. This is not normally taught in spirituality, but we covered in Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul class. Hear me out. We said the higher soul, as you saw in the image here, is like the mainframe computer, right? It has a bandwidth, a certain cable or whatever, connecting to the lower self. And we move around, learn lessons. So normally, for most people, whatever data that we process during our earthly life, the body has to die to upload those lessons to the higher soul. That's what you call evolution. Okay? Now, since for most people the bandwidth is so small, the body has to die for that data to be uploaded, processed, and, well, the body's dead, so they can't do anything with it, right? All right, listen carefully. However, if you have a certain spiritual practice that you're doing, and you are able to widen that pipeline, you're able to upgrade your hardware to be able to take that data in and be able to process and apply that information into your life, into your earthly life, generate good karma, learn lessons, spiritually evolve. Since that pipeline is already bigger, you don't have to wait for the body to die in order for that data to be uploaded. That's why your Essence of Men introduction on this book, the crown chakra is a step up and step down transformer. In other words, when the data is coming down, okay, all you electrical engineering guys, you guys know this. This is called the right-hand rule. When the data is coming in, the electromagnetic field will go clockwise. When the data is going out, the electromagnetic field, right-hand rule, goes the other direction. So that's why the crown chakra spins so quickly when so much information goes like this. It's bringing the divine energy down, all the information is being processed, lessons learned from the chakras in your everyday life is also being uploaded. So when that happens, the crown gets bigger and bigger simultaneously. With so much data moving up and down that pipeline, it gets wider. That's why with saints, you see a ginormous light around the head. That's called the halo. That's because the crown goes like this. And then the pipeline is so big, that's why, there's a pillar of light on top of his head. Make sense? So when you do your meditation and right living, that's one of the fastest ways to increase your bandwidth, as well as what? Upload information to your higher soul. Now let me finish it with this. In Buddhism, they have this concept that says, if you do this, and this, whatever, you will escape the wheel of Dharma. Okay? So if you don't mind, I'll speak freely. Basically, it's like no more lessons to learn. So you don't have to incarnate and come back again. By the way, the word incarnate, carne in Spanish is meat or flesh. In is, well, go in, right? So a being of light, energy, has to incarnate into the body, use the body, emotions, and thought to learn lessons. And once the information is gathered and that lifetime is over, they discard the body. That's what you call death. Make sense? So they say, when you do this and this, you don't have to incarnate again. You escape the will of Dharma. That only happens when there's enough information that has been uploaded, so no more lessons have to be learned. Make sense? So as we go through life and we study, we learn, we do service, you are constantly widening the channel, flushing all the crap out of our system so that the data coming in is pure. Only if it's pure that we can use it properly. Now, let me leave you with one thought. This is not very positive, but for some of you, it might explain why some of you got fooled, like I was. My teacher used to say, and I think 1988, he said something like this. Just because a butcher dies, when I say butcher, I'm not talking about somebody who cuts meat. It's a derogatory term for somebody who's a bad person, who's a murderer, killer, so on, so on, so on. He goes like this. Just because a butcher died does not instantly make him an Einstein. I remember those words very clearly. I'm thinking, what is he talking about? Because I think it was explained to the context where there's a student that says, I heard voices in my meditation, my sleep. It must be my guides, my angels, and so on, so on, so on. So he looked at the person and says, just because a butcher dies does not make him an Einstein. You still have to use intelligent evaluation. You go, you're not trusting. No, I'm not. Because you know why? As we go back to the original thing we said, in the energy world, there's no FCC. Thoughts and emotions flying all over the place. Haven't you noticed? You walk to a certain place, it looks physically clean, you go, man, this place doesn't feel comfortable. Have you had that experience? Or you go to certain places, you go, I like this place. Because those spaces that are uncomfortable are filled with negative thought forms flying around like gray clouds. Places that are holy are filled with positive thought forms. And like qualities attract. So if you have a place that has filled a lot of dirty energy, they attract lower beings, lower energy beings. Places that have high frequency energy information, they attract angelic beings. Oh. Make sense? So that's why when information comes in, you have to use your processors to process the data. Does this make sense? Or part of it is nonsense? That's why a lot of you have Christian background. Even St. Paul in the Bible says, question the spirits. Remember that? Unfortunately, I've seen this many, many times. I've seen students that are so gullible because they don't, they're loving, they're trusting, but they don't study. They're damn lazy. They don't want to study. They just want to, I trust this, I trust that. That's why they trust them down the toilet. In other words, they're like this. They didn't realize that there's floating negative thought forms that's telling them, it's okay. All you got to do is trust, sit in your butt, don't go to work. God will just bless you. And they're being broke. Get the idea? So the mind, ajna and throat, has to process the information, says what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Because in the energy world, there are energy pranksters. People who got souls that or energy beings that have nothing else to do. I'll give you an example. I'm rushing, I apologize. So let's say a family lost grandpa. So grandpa already died, the body died, and the soul is in the energy world and so on, so on, so on. Okay? But you have to realize the soul has three sets of clothing. The physical clothing, the emotional clothing, and the mental clothing. So what you call death is simply the soul discarding the physical vehicle or shell. It's now in the emotional world. That's why a lot of you, if somebody just passed that there's a tendency for people to dream about them. You notice that? Because at night, when your body's asleep, your soul is in the emotional world, wearing your emotional clothes. So are the people who just died. That's why you meet, you go, he came back, I talked to grandpa. Listen carefully. Once that person who quote-unquote died finishes releasing a lot of the emotional frequencies, it now goes to the higher worlds, the mental world. But just like the body, if somebody dies, the body does not disintegrate instantly. It decomposes over a period of time, so that's the emotional body. So here's what happens. If you have that same family, we miss grandpa, and that emotional shell is still floating in the sea of energy in the emotional world, and you have a bunch of energy pranksters got nothing else to do. Go, ooh, that family, he's missing the grandpa. Oh, this is grandpa's body, emotional shell. They put it on. They put it on, and they go, hi, it's me. And the kids and the parents go, oh, I had a dream of grandpa. And the grandpa said, I should just sell everything and move to whatever. Not knowing that it's just a prankster, right? But if these guys who got the information go, wait, that doesn't sound like grandpa. So next time they have a dream, we go, you're really grandpa, huh? Okay, tell me. 5 years ago, we went to Hawaii. Where did we go? If grandpa can't answer, that's not grandpa. Because the soul doesn't forget. Get the idea? So that's why the mental faculty has to be very activated. One of the reasons why I do what I do is because I really got that from my teacher. He just kept emphasizing, study, learn, practice. Don't just say I meditate and study, learn, practice. So you get the information in, you get to understand it, and you get applied to help others. Okay? I know some of you go, yeah, you're so skeptical. Absolutely. Haven't you been fooled before? After you've been fooled enough times, you will be. It's not being skeptical, it's called intelligent evaluation. That's the proper term. You question nicely. And so when you're doing your meditation, you get the intuition. When you practice, you study, you get the intellect, and you take action. What else do you want? Okay, that was longer than I expected. Let's meditate. Okay, you guys ready? Now, the ones who are on Instagram, I apologize. We have 1 hour in my cutoff, but I'll do my best. All right, let's ask for a blessing. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, we humbly ask for your blessings. To my teacher, Master Chokhok Sui Mahaguji Meiling, thank you for the blessings. To all the great spiritual teachers, Holy Masters, Saints, Archangels, Holy Angels, spiritual helpers, thank you for immense blessings. In full faith, so it is. All right, We'll do meditation twin hearts. Take your left hand, tap the center of your chest. Take your right hand, tap your crown. Okay. Put your hand like this. Be aware of your heart. Imagine the earth in front of you. Fill the earth with beautiful, loving energy from your heart flowing through your hands. Bless the earth with beautiful pink light. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Wherever there's hatred, let me sow unconditional love. Where there's injury, let me sow pardon and forgiveness. Where there's doubt, let me sow faith. Where there's despair, let me sow hope. Especially at this time, we know a lot of people who are suffering, either from the disease or the indirect effects of it, of losing their jobs, relationship issues, emotional issues. May all of them be blessed with hope and with faith and a better life. So be it. If you know anyone, could be relatives, friends, visualize their life improving and flood them with beautiful, pink loving energy. So be it. Where there's darkness, let me sow light. Darkness in spirituality is the absence of spiritual light. The ignorance that a person is a being of pure energy and light. And it's because of that we allow our lower tendencies to take over. So bless the earth with spiritual light, that every person, every being will realize that they are a being of light and that we're all interconnected. So be it. And where there is sadness, let me sow a tremendous amount of joy. Allow your heart to open even more, blessing every person, every being with peace, with love, with a spirit of forgiveness, with hope, with faith, with light, and with lots of joy. So be it. So be it, and so it is. Now be aware of your heart. Take a deep breath. Go up to your crown. Exhale. Again, be aware of your heart. Take a deep breath. Go up to your crown and exhale. And gently, one more time, be aware of your heart. Inhale. Go to the crown, exhale, and stay there. Be aware of your crown. Your crown is glowing with beautiful golden light. Let that golden light flow down out of your hands and bless your family with it. Your friends, all your other relatives. Bless the people you work with. Let the golden light spread to the city you live in, the state, the country. Let it spread throughout the entire earth. So be it. From the heart of God, through my soul, through my entire being, may every person, every being on earth be blessed with loving kindness. Let all be blessed with great joy and happiness, with understanding, harmony, and divine peace. Let all be blessed, without exception. So be it. So it is. Can you feel the energy flowing through you? Now repeat after me. Our hearts are one, our crowns are one, our souls are one. Again, our hearts are one, our crowns are one, our souls are one, our spirits are one. There is only oneness. Now be aware of your heart, be aware of your crown, take a deep breath. As you exhale, imagine beautiful golden light pouring out of our hands and flooding the entire earth. From the center of the heart of God, through my soul, through my entire being, may every person, every being on earth be blessed with love and kindness. From the center of the heart of all loving God, through my soul, through my entire being, may every person, every being in the higher worlds, middle worlds, even the lower worlds, let all beings in all dimensions be blessed with unconditional love and kindness. So it is. May every person, every being be blessed with inner peace, inner healing, for many at this time, physical and financial healing. So it is. Just fill the earth with so much golden light, blessing every person, every being on earth, physical and non-physical. Let the brilliant light pour through our entire being, and just be grateful to be a vessel and an instrument to bless our beloved Mother Earth and all her children. So be it. Allow your heart, your crown, allow your soul to bloom with so much love. And let that divine love just pour through us as one, blessing all the people in the world who are in need. Bless all the people who are sick to be healed. Bless all the caregivers, the frontliners, with healing energy and divine protection. Bless everyone in the service industry who are helping keep the society going with divine protection. Bless all our leaders on all levels. Flood them with massive amounts of golden light. Awaken within them the inner strength to do what is right, to open their hearts, their minds and souls, and to have the courage to serve. So be it. May all be blessed. Now gently lower your hands on your lap. Keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Keep your eyes closed. Be still. Now on top of your crown, imagine a most beautiful golden star. Just a beautiful golden star, like a miniature sun floating above your head. Be aware of the love within your heart. Send a stream of love from your heart up to the crown and into that golden sun. Again, be aware of the love in your heart. And just let it float up to your throat, to the center of your head, up, past your crown, into that miniature sun. And it's even brighter now. And one more time, send it from your heart up to the throat, to the center of your head, to your crown, and into that golden flame, which is a big bright sun. Allow your entire awareness and consciousness to just swim in that golden light. You are inside that golden sun. Be still and let go. Allow your awareness to just drift deeper and deeper into that ocean of golden light. Om. Let go. Let go. Gently, very slowly, come back to your body. Gently move your fingers, move your toes. Just slowly come back. Take your time. Raise your hands in blessing. Visualize the people in your life. Flood them with golden light. May all of them be blessed with good health, with happiness, with prosperity and abundance, and spirituality. So be it. May all be blessed. So it is. Now, could you think of the projects that you want blessed, like your finances, your health, your relationships? If you've been listening to us for the last few days, we told them to write it down, put it in front of you. We'll use the collective energy of all of us meditating, usually 5,000-6,000 of us easily, and just bless all of it with lots of good energy. Okay? So put it in front of you. The ones who took the Kriya Shakti, the prosperity class, you know what to do. You should have written the proper way, have it in front of you, a certain way. You should be facing the right direction, you know, all that. Okay, you guys ready? So I know a lot of you are new and this is kind of weirding you out, but no, well, you stay with us this long. Okay, put your hand like this. Whatever it is, your image, you can just visualize. You say, manifestation energy. Yeah, some of you sensitive feel it. Okay, maybe you feel it, maybe you don't, right? Okay, ready? All of us put your hand like this. Say, we are one. We are one. Now flood it with golden light. Visualize it manifesting according to the divine order. Say, so be it. Keep flooding it with golden light. We'll get some extra special sauce. Keep going. As your heart desires, may all your wishes be blessed by God. So be it, and so it is. Okay, try it again. Say manifestation energy. If you're sensitive, you go, woo, it feels full. Okay. Anyway, let's give thanks, shall we? To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, thank you for your blessings. To all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, thank you. Personally, to my teacher, Master Chokok Sui Mahaguji Mailing, thank you. Thank you for the blessings. In full faith, so be it. So, okay, before we finish, you might have noticed I posted it again. That's the deep emotional healing that we did last Sunday. So in there, again, it's free. You're welcome to go to it and practice it. We took it down a few days ago, did some arranging in the back end. So you just play it, and then you do it. It's about an hour something. And you can get rid of anger, resentment, whatever. It doesn't cost anything. The ones in Instagram, just go to the Facebook and go for the link. It's mexico.org/deep/emotional healing. Anyway, you go figure it out. We'll post it again. Now, a few things. One, the ones who are new, if you like the meditation, we're going to do it 3 times a week, 6 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we have a morning event at 10 and evening at 6. Okay? And Friday, we have designated as Emotional Healing Day. And what it is, we noticed that one of the biggest things happening with people either staying at home so much or lost their job, whatever, a lot of emotions are stirred up, and that causes them not to think clearly. So we're dedicating Friday for emotional healing. Okay? It doesn't cost you anything. You just sign on wherever you are. Okay? Let's see what else. And I think that's pretty much it. Okay? I have an idea. Could you open your palms like this? Okay, close your eyes. We'll add some special sauce. In other words, we'll ask for more blessings, okay? Just be receptive. I'm not doing the blessing. I'm just the lucky guy holding the ginormous fire hose. Okay, just be still. Be receptive. With the blessings of God, with the help of my teacher, Master Chokok Sui Mahaguji Mailing, and all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, may all of you be blessed by God with waves of love, sweetness, joy, kindness. May you be soothed of your pain, sorrow, or suffering. May it be completely flushed out, washed away, and flooded with waves of love and sweetness instead. Just be receptive. Your crown is filled with beautiful golden light. Your forehead, your ajna, and your backhead chakras are filled with golden light. Your throat centers are filled with golden light. Your front back heart centers are filled with golden light. Your front back solar plexus centers are filled with golden light. Your spleen, your liver centers are filled with golden light. Your navel, your sex center, your basic centers, chakras are filled with golden light. Your entire body is filled with liquid golden light. Your brain is filled with golden light. Your eyes, your nose, your throat, your mouth are filled with golden light. Your heart, your lungs are filled with golden light. Your stomach, your liver, your gallbladder, your intestines are filled with golden light. Your kidneys are filled with golden light. Your reproductive organs are filled with golden light. Your arms, your legs, your bones, your muscles, ligaments, tendons are filled with golden light. Your entire body is literally soaking in liquid, healing golden light. Just be super receptive. May you be blessed with compassionate, healing light. So it is. With God's blessings, so be it. With the blessings of all the great spiritual teachers, holy masters, saints, and archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, so be it. Repeat after me. I completely, deeply, permanently, and gratefully accept, absorb, fully assimilate all this divine healing energy and divine blessings, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, etherically, physically, and financially. Thank you. In full faith, so be it. All right. That was a strong download of energy. So thank you very much for allowing me to serve you. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And we will see you tomorrow for meditation. And may you be blessed with much happiness and good health. Take good care. And we'll see you soon.